There's no way I could really tell Peter about what was going on here without him seeing it. It's like trying to describe salt without using the word salty. He had to come. And so I decided to risk it and got him to come here.
Voila. And now a little simple piece of metal becomes this beautiful, beautiful clasp that's going to go on one of his bracelets.
I think he was happy for me, but I don't think he liked it that this stuff was taken from there and brought here.
When I first walked in the shop, I felt like I was from the Italian Cultural Ministry here at the Metropolitan Museum to ask for our ancient artifacts back. There was some separation anxiety seeing all these hubs that were sculpted in Providence and the surrounds here in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Peter sees some of Providence down here, and I see it the same way. And you know, Peter's the Providence Jewelry Museum. I can't separate in my mind the identity of Peter or the Providence Museum or the city of Providence. And so to some extent, now it's turned into me trying to recreate something that is from there, you know, here in the middle of nowhere.
If you really spend time with a Hugo, you realize that this is not Harrisonburg, Virginia. This is Florence, Italy. And he's a Florentine. And this is his atelier. And he is taking all these historical artifacts and he's made them relevant again.
So this, for me, this is about as exciting as it gets.
My career was as a broker, and when I walked in somebody's factory or my car was parked in front, everybody knew they were going out of business. So it was nice to walk into a place to give a blessing and not your funeral direction. You know, so coming in here and him having me walk around and touch his things and look in his drawers, it was profound because I have looked in many drawers and I've collected many drawers. I've collected century after century of workmanship. I'm looking in the drawers of a growing century of workmanship. It's nice to see the flower growing instead of it wilting.
You know, it's a funny thing about Providence. This jewelry making industry is from there. But it has gone through, you know, boom and bust and boom and bust, and the most recent bust has been devastating to it. I know that Peter wants the city to give him this parcel of property on this important segment of town so that he can use it to build, you know, a proper Providence Jewelry Museum.
If you go in every drawer, in every bureau of every home in the United States, there's a piece of Providence. When can you start appreciating that and have this sense of, not that you were a factory worker, but you really gave joy to every single American in the country. And I think when the powers that be finally realize that, they'll recognize that a home, a museum, is probably one of the most important things they've done in the last 3 centuries.
I think that the city of Providence is missing a tremendous opportunity. Maybe they can't do it, but I gotta think that if they really wanted to do it, they would find a way. I started to say to him, you know, if they're not going to do what you want them to do, put it on a truck, bring it here. We'll do what you want. We'll make it what you want it to be. I think he'd like to see it in Providence. That would be his first choice, and that is the first choice. It would be really my first choice. But I'd like to be the second choice, you know, if the city won't come through. The point of all this is the artwork. The point of all this is the people who made the artwork. The point of all this is the jewelry. You know, the question is, again, what is it all about? And that's sort of the question is, what has Providence forgotten? And this is what they've forgotten. They've forgotten the artwork, they've forgotten the history, and they've forgotten the beautiful things that can be made.